select quarterback Dan Marino of Pittsburgh.
Marino's back, blitzes off, throws down the middle. Touchdown, Dolphins!
No other quarterback in the history of the National Football League knows as much about the end zone as Dan Marino.
Dan takes the snap, throws for Byers on the right side, flat, he breaks it, tackle, he's in! Touchdown, Dolphins! Dan Marino has broken another record. He has the granddaddy of them all now.
Welcome back to the Fish Tank right here on the Miami Dolphins Podcast Network. Seth Levit and the toughest podcaster Dan Marino ever played with.
Yes.
And Dan friggin' Marino.
Yeah.
We made it, Juice.
OJ, man,
Big
he's the
time.
man. He's the man.
Man, no, Danny's the man. You know that, Big Seth. But you know what, though? I always say this all the time, man. Danny never put me in tough positions out there on the football field. So I can be as tough as I wanted to be, but he always took care of me when he threw me rocks. That's for sure.
Most
Except
of the
for
time.
one time.
Not always. Yeah,
Except for one
I'm sure
time.
there was a couple times, man.
Every now and then.
I'm sure there was definitely a couple times, but I try to do that.
So there's so much to talk about. It was kind of hard to say, okay, how do we take Dan Marino's career and compress it to do this interview? But before we get into any of that, my partner here has been telling a story for 5 years since we started the Fish Tank. Literally on the first episode, he told this story. I didn't even know if he
I
was
don't
full
even
of
know where you're going here. So
Well, it's okay.
like-
It's okay. We'll
Yeah,
catch up. But I need
Yeah.
some validation. So he claims in his rookie year, 1993, a rumor starts to go around the locker room that he can throw the ball 70 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to find out. And so you approach him. You're like, bro, I don't think you can do it. And you guys place a wager and make him go out to the field.
And he did it.
And he did it. So
Yeah.
this is true.
Throw it a lot further than I could. But
I mean, that was hard
the
for me
only
to-
difference is this, OJ, you got to admit, I could hit what I'm throwing.
That's right. That's right. I'm just throwing for distance,
But I
you know.
couldn't throw it 70, man.
So he did it.
No, it's amazing. Like, I mean, there was other guys too. There were certain guys, like, I mean, like, remember Charles Jordan?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he could throw it a long way too. Yeah, but not like OJ. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
So but did you not think he could do it? And then, or
no.
you
I
just
didn't,
wanted to see it?
I want to see it.
Okay.
No, I look. If you're working with guys that are like at the level of OJ and the other guys we were around at that time,
Yeah.
if they say they could do it, usually they can.
You know, Danny, man, I knew right away, man, that you had this confident, that you were a confident person, one of the most confident people I'd ever been around. And that was fun. In fact, you know, your confidence is legendary. We actually just had Scott Mitchell on. And Scott Mitchell
Okay.
was talking about.
He was on. Okay.
Yeah.
When he came on, he was talking about there was these three rules that, you know, that Danny Marino told him about when he was a rookie. One, we always talk about, you know, pick a guy and let it fly.
Yep.
That was always something that we talk about. One of the rules he said was, and he said, when you were born, and you don't know this because you weren't born yet, your mom cried all day because you weren't Dan Marino. and so
It's not true.
we had to say this, that's what he said.
No. No.
Yeah, you got a whole catalog of things,
Oh,
man.
that
you
stuff.
know,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
You got some one-liners now.
No, I know it sounds messed up, but I used to do Duper and Clayton the same way. Like I used to say, like, you know, your mother wanted you to grow up to be just like me.
Right.
Just for, you know, for giggles and fun, you know what I mean? So that, I mean, it's over the top arrogant a little bit, but I mean,
But you
with
know,
how
you
we
backed
were
it up.
having fun.
Yeah,
we were
but you
playing.
backed it
Yeah,
up too, man. You know what else? What I used
Yeah.
to love, Big Seth, when he used to
because
say,
that's inside stuff, you know, you're
Exactly.
talking, you know, at the time. Yeah. But now
Nowadays.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter
Right.
now. Yeah.
It's far from inside right now, I think,
Yeah.
at this point.
I used to love when you say, you know, I treat DBs like credit cards. I pull them out and use them whenever I want to.
Yeah.
That was my
Sam.
favorite. Yeah.
So I with Sam, you know, who's coaching there, Sam, who I love, he's awesome, right? I tell him all the time. I used to say, dude, I just use you like a credit card if I want. Just swipe it and keep going.
That's it.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
funny.
So where
do
But
you
their
come up with these
stories,
things,
I
Daddy?
don't
Like,
know, it just hits my head in the middle of the night. Just
Middle of the
thinking
night.
about it. I don't know.
I told you my favorite. So
Okay.
1996 is my internship year. And this is back when, you know, they didn't have the tablets or whatever. So we would do the headshots, right? And Harvey
Sure.
sent me down there and
Sure.
everybody has to approve their headshot. Dave Cross would take 3 pictures. Everybody would look at it. I don't like this one. I don't like the way I look. I hand it to you and you take a look. You're sitting in the training room. You're like, it don't matter, bro. I don't take a bad picture.
That's the fun part. Yeah.
I was like, all right. And the whole training room was like,
Yeah.
damn.
That's fun. That's
So
fun
good.
stuff, though. You know, it's just like you get to a point. You know, you're in the locker room, you're in the training room. It's okay to kind of
I love it.
have that, camaraderie with your teammates and the people you work with, which makes it really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, where's that
I mean, it's
confidence
long
come
time.
from, man? Where's that? I love it, man. Where's that confidence come from?
I think it's just something like you would know this, and a lot of great players would know. It just comes over time, and your ability to perform at a high level and how you want to perform, and then you just trust yourself and you trust the people around you, and it's just something that's there, that's going to be there, for as long as you want.
Well, I know we always had a lot of confidence.
We had
we had a lot of
rolling.
confidence. When we got 1-3, one trade at quarterback,
everybody
there was a
more
lot of
confident.
confidence in that locker room. and that
Look,
huddle.
OJ, I mean, look, I depended on you so much for so many years, like just that third down or going in the middle, doing all that stuff. And it would be pretty much, I'll be called play. I'm like, OJ, just make sure you're open.
Love it.
Miami Dolphins, first round selection. The Dolphins select quarterback Dan Marino of Pittsburgh.
So 1983, expected to be drafted higher. Speaking of those confident things, I love the interview where you're like, guess I'll go down to Miami, work on my tan, you did a great job of.
Yeah.
But how quickly did you know, again, you're a confident guy, but how quickly did you get out there and start to say, oh, I got this?
So it's crazy. It's like anything. Like when you go from high school, you're in high school and you're playing those guys, like, okay, I got this. And then you go to college and it's kind of the same way. And then I got to the mini camp, and then we had Clayton who came in, he was drafted that year too. And Duper was there and all the guys, Tony Nathan, Cephalo, Nat Moore, all of them. And then I was like, you know what? I got a chance to be the starter here pretty quick, and I just felt it. And it was like the first mini camp. And it was one of those things that, you're out there and you're throwing and you have a communication, just the instincts, all that stuff with the guys, with the receivers. And it was pretty natural, pretty quick.
Wow.
So that's what kind of made me feel like I was going to be able to play early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Danny, can you talk about your relationship with Coach Shula? I mean, he put his trust in you at a very early age. We're talking about that right now. You guys developed something really, really special together. And most of the time, Coach Shula was intimidating everybody, but you guys seem like you guys could, really go at each other or talk to each other, with a maturity, but a confidence also that I was afraid to approach him. But it seemed like you guys had such a great relationship, man, and were intimidating most other people.
Well, first of all, when you're, the head coach is in your meeting rooms and quarterback room and all that all the time, I spent a lot of time with Coach Shula. Like we really did. We spent a lot of time watching film, talking about games, all those kind of things. And he just, I remember him telling me when I came in, when I was a rookie, like he gave me the playbook. We came down in our mini camp and all that stuff. Give me the playbook. He said, go home. I want you to come back. He said, I want you to come back thinking that you're going to be the starter, right? And I want you to work as if you're going to be, and that just got me all pumped up. So he knows, he knew how to like push the right buttons and do that. And you know that too. Like he always had a way of, like in practice, if practice is just going okay, like he would just say a little comment to me like, man, that was a throw or something, right? Like, and it just, I'm like, what? You're telling me that? I mean, come on. And I just everything went to the next level, man. Let's go. And that's kind of, he had that knack that he was really, really good at that with all the players. But he always, I feel good about, he trusted me. And then also, I mean, give credit to Don Strock. Yeah. You guys, everybody knows Don Strock, and he was like my coach. Like he was my quarterback coach when I first came in. He was 11 years in the league, and he was amazing too to help me, just dealing with Coach Shula too, and all of that is at a young age.
Yeah, so it's so strange because it seemed like Coach Shula changed from the 70s to the 80s. And then, of course, into the 90s. You had him in the 80s and the 90s. It seemed like everybody talks about he's a different coach in the different decades. Yeah, So you had those 80s. What were those 80s like compared to the 90s when it came to coach?
Well, I think he saw right away the talent that he had after the Super Bowl that they had lost to the Redskins. And then they, I got drafted, Clayton got drafted, some of the other guys that played for a long time on the team. And I think he saw the talent and how the league was going and how it's not going to be just like run first all the time. And, empty backfields and all that. We were doing that stuff back in the day when no one was doing it. He just committed to it because he knew the talent he had. And that's the best thing about him, is just adjusting to the talent that you have, And in the 90s, it was kind of the same way.
Right.
I mean, it was, we were rolling, man. The guys we had, with Keith Jackson, yourself, and Irving,
and backfield times.
We Terry Kirby and Mark Ingram, and we were just, we were rolling.
Marino gunning deep, and Clayton is open for a touchdown.
So I promise we're not going to go 1 year at a time and keep you here all day, but I have to talk about 1984. Okay. The things you guys did had never been seen before. And when you go back and look at it, 48 touchdowns, 5,084 yards, you would be MVP today with those numbers. With all the rule changes, the extra game, that's all they would be talking about. It was like watching a video game in a lot of ways. My question is, when you're in the middle of all that, was there ever a moment where you were like, man, we're doing something really special? Like, could you understand the magnitude of what you were doing, or were you just too in the moment and too young to have that perspective?
Seth, to be honest with you, we were just rolling, right? We weren't thinking about, we're going to break records, we're going to do all this. It was all about winning football games, and that's what our team was about. And Coach Shula was about that. And the thing is, towards the end of the season, we had to win some games, and we were just, and it just happened to kick in. It was one of those things that I didn't think about 48 touchdowns. Now, I knew about the 36.
Right,
because break the record, and that's part of,
everybody's
talking about it. Harvey Green's talking about it every week. It's your boy Harvey. He's coming up with me with all the stats. I'm like, Harvey, don't worry about it. We're just trying to win, man. And that year was really special. And if you think about the end, Mark Clayton needed 3 touchdowns in the Dallas Cowboys game. It was on Monday Night Football to break the single season touchdown record. Not thinking about it, like we're just playing because we have to win that game to keep home field advantage, right? So it ended up that he caught 3 touchdowns, and the one was at the end where he caught like an 80-yarder. It was with 2 minutes left. We hit a square in, we call it now, or whatever they call it now, but a square in, and he just split the safeties and scored, and then didn't know about the 5,000 yards. I mean, I remember Harvey saying that earlier in that week, he said, if you get over 300 something, whatever it was, that you're going to throw for 5,000.
Sure.
Didn't know about it until after the game. He goes, you threw for 380 something and you got 5,000 yards. Well, all right, and we won too. So that's what made it really cool. I tell people all the time, and if you talk to our guys, our receivers from that time, they will tell you that like nowadays they don't take guys out of the game, so they're still throwing the ball. And they would take us out of the game, and we could have put up even bigger numbers, I think.
Tell him who hits you up every week.
Duke, man. Duke.
How many targets does Tyreek have?
Tyreek targets all the time. How many targets you got now?
He gets me too, man. He's like, he says, dude, you only give me 5 targets in a game. Or 6 targets. Like, they're throwing them 13 balls. They're throwing them 12 balls. I'm like, okay. I mean, dude, go back and play.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you.
Good. That's so good.
That season, Dan, you guys, put the league on notice, man. And, right to center was, Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. And, these guys you guys always go back and forth with, the Marks brothers always say, well, we made Dan Marino. And then Dan Marino says, I made the Marks brothers. Who made who, Danny? I mean, that's the question being asked all the time.
So this is like just old guys now, talking junk. No, that's where we're talking junk on each other. But, I was blessed to have those two and Jimmy Cephalo, Nat Moore. Nat especially, he's like the godfather. Nat, like he taught those guys actually basically how to play the position, wide receiver, run routes, all the things that you need to know when you come in as a young guy. So I'm going to tell them, right here, like I made them. There's no doubt. And I don't care what they say.
Oh man,
I love them to death forever. And it was that was
so good.
Those guys were special, man.
Yeah.
They could roll.
Dan. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Danny, we have to talk a little bit about this current Miami Dolphins team. I mean, you sit in some meetings, definitely sit in some quarterback meetings. I mean, you're out at practice. You're around every day, which I love, man. How much do you
almost
enjoy?
every day?
Well, I get it. You got. You're also a busy man too. You still got to be Dan Marino. Some other places too. I get it, man. How much do you enjoy, staying connected to football and to the Dolphins in the way that you are right now?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, actually, to be around, the team, be around the players, the coaches, all of it, Steve Ross, our owner, Tom Garfinkel, everybody, Chris Greer, our guys. I mean, I just enjoy being around all of them and being a part of something, that I think could be very special. Yeah. Right. And that's what we're here for. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's why we're here, because you want to see everybody do well and you want to see the team do well and all the fans. I'm a fan, also I'm, around a lot, but I'm still a fan. Yeah. So I want them to do well. So, I mean, I really enjoy it. Yeah.
And what about Tua? What's your relationship like with
Very good.
Tua?
Yeah, Tua's very good.
What about him and him personally, and what about his game? What stands out to you about him?
I think he's really competitive. He understands the game very well. His instincts are there, like that you could tell. Instincts as far as reading the coverages, throwing the ball, getting the ball out on time, all that stuff. So he's been great.
You've been to South Florida most of your adult life, man. What does this community mean to you? I mean, you've
been first of all, just coming here as a young person, 21 years old, Coach Shula, the Dolphins, being the rookie quarterback, all that was amazing. But just getting to learn the community, and learn from someone like Coach Shula, the example that he gave all of us, the players, like you mentioned, Jimmy Cefalo, Don Strock, all those guys, Nat Moore, the community service and doing things. And I've been blessed because I've had so many friends here that have helped me in so many ways with our foundation. We do things for autism, kids with developmental disabilities. And that's been something that we have been blessed with for over 30 some years, raised a ton of money. And it's because of the people that you meet in the community and all that. And that's, it's been exceptional for me.
Love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fans love to hear it.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's you're part of it.
But that's the thing. Like, it's one thing to see a guy and he throws a bunch of touchdowns and everything, but then when you feel like he's part of your own community, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal to people.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. So
yeah, that's right. That's good to know.
I say that all the time, man. I'm from Ohio. I'm never going back.
Marino's trying to get everybody on the line of scrimmage. We are seeing another spectacular effort by Marino, who fires. Touchdown!
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this. The fake spike, the clock play, whatever you want to call it. Again, do you think about that? Like, every time the Jets are coming into town or that we're facing the Jets, is it brought to your attention? Do you think about that?
I get reminded. That's the word, right? Yeah. Reminded about it a lot from just fans in general, and just the fact that, it comes up because of what it was. Like, it was, it was pretty cool when it happened. And no one's really done that since then. That was a special day, because, we sent the Jet fans home.
Right.
And
First and foremost.
Yeah, we won that game. Give Bernie Kosar a lot of credit, because that was kind of his idea from the beginning. And we would practice it all the time. I mean, for like a year and a half, we practiced that thing.
We ever wonder, like, what the hell am I doing this for?
Yeah, no, I could see.
You knew that it had potential.
See that it could, I saw that that could happen in the right situation, and it was. And Bernie was the one that brought that from. Well, he was from Cleveland, but then he went to Dallas for a year. Right. And they won that Super Bowl, and then he came over here.
He said he pitched it. He was on the show, and he said he pitched it to every coach he ever. And finally, somebody was like, yeah, this actually could work.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He said, my idea, and thankfully, Dan Marino's elite skills.
That's exactly what he said.
I give Bernie credit, but I threw it.
Right. That's exactly right. He may not have been able to pull it off.
So good. Funny. That's so funny.
Good.
That's funny.
Well, Danny, we end every episode of this podcast with the fish tank 2-minute drill, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Over the course of your storied career, you had 37 fourth quarter comebacks. So I think, Juice, I'm expecting the best 2-minute drill we've ever had here. I mean, who can run a 2-minute drill like Dan Marino?
Yeah, Danny never won. No kicker ever. No, we're not kicking in. We're not kicking.
We're going to
2-minute drill. We're going to score a touchdown.
Unless we have to kick.
Depends on the time.
But we don't start off with that. So Mike's going to put 2 minutes up on the clock here. You want any timeouts? Because if you need them, you got them.
No,
it doesn't need timeouts. All right, we're just going to go with this thing. All right, so we're going to start it with just some quick short routes to move the sticks. We're going to call this word association. I just need one-word responses to the names that I throw out to you. We got to start with Don Shula.
Tough.
Mark Clayton.
Badass.
Mark Duper.
He's a badass too.
Bruce Smith.
He's a badass.
In the wrong kind of way. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hearing all that.
I love Bruce, but he used to take care of me a little bit. You know, it actually hit me and actually pick me up.
Okay, I don't think he did that for many people.
No,
that's pretty good.
No, that's not one word.
No, it's not, but that's all right. O.J. McDuffie.
Tough as it gets. Yeah, badass too.
Joe Rose. I appreciate that.
Oh, he's.
I want to get away.
Yeah, it's okay.
I know I was going to, man. I can't. Though.
Badass too, man. Yeah. Joe Rose, soft is.
Just leave it at that.
Soft as a tissue coming out of the.
Oh, I love it. Oh, this is so good. All right, we're going to open up the offense a little bit. The clock is still running.
All right.
Use a quick release, but your answers can be more than one word here. All right, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. We know how you made Jim Carrey's career on that movie.
Right.
A $100 million film when that was a big deal back then. But there were three things to me that I thought were incredibly unrealistic. But what was the most unrealistic? So was it that someone stole a living dolphin from the stadium? Was it that Ace Ventura caught a bullet with his teeth? Or was it the idea that you would actually be the holder on a field goal attempt?
Yeah. It was, it's all three of those actually. You know, I mean, and everything about that movie is unrealistic. So it doesn't even matter.
I love it.
But I want to say that's probably the best work I ever did.
Agreed. Agreed.
So we all know that there's no defense of a perfect throw.
Yeah.
But what defender would you have had the best shot at? Which defender would have the best shot at stopping you?
As far as a corner?
Corner, probably.
Corner. Man, I mean, there were some guys real dudes I played against over the years. And Dion was really good. Mike Haynes. Mike Haynes. That group, Lester, Mike Haynes, Albert Lewis.
Oh, wow.
Rod Woodson.
Oh, yeah.
Like those cats, like all those cats.
They had a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like, we got our guys.
I know that's
we got
right.
our dudes, you got your dudes,
Right.
and I feel pretty good about our guys, so I'm going to throw on you. It's not like I'm not going to throw on you. But those cats are real deal.
No doubt. All right, final question here. This is a mystery that all Dolphin fans have wanted solved for quite some time.
Oh, geez.
Did the director of that commercial just get under your skin, or was there really a flub?
Which one? Oh,
Send it in.
it might have been a flub, but we were doing those commercials all day. Like it was all day. And it was in Orlando, quarterback club, and
Right.
all the guys are there, and we're going from one spot to the other. It was the last one. And it was a young kid. And I'll be honest with you, if he's watching somehow, I'm sorry. I was just over all of it. And so it was no flub.
Send it in.
That is the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
Dan Marino finds himself in the end zone again.
I'm sure you wanted me to say that. So just make sure you bleep it out. That's all.
Everybody wanted you to say that. Danny, this was great. This was worth the 5-year wait to get you in the finish
Absolutely.
line.
It's so
Man,
good.
I've been there before that.
I love it, man.
All right, dude.
Thank
Hey,
you so
Danny,
much
thanks for
for
diving in,
Juice.
Danny,
Love you,
man.
brother.
Appreciate it. Love you
Yeah.
too, man.
Love you, man.
So good.